So we got a solo clutch, which is self-adjustable. Right here's the indicator. This is the clutch for the dummies. There's not any way or shape you can adjust this clutch. It does everything by itself. What happened with this truck, speaking of that, has a favorite Packard because I have a lot of viewers watching the Packard. So this is fully automatic transmission with clutch actuator. So it has no third pedal, like you don't have a clutch pedal. The customer complaint was slipping. So we got quite a bit of wear on a flywheel. Let me pick this up. 1 second. Then clutch discs look like they were burned up a little bit. This is a grease, don't worry about it. So the clutch, I mean, it looks decent. There's no broken springs or nothing. I will not flip this over. But right here is this holes when you install new one, which I will show you in a minute. That's where your bolt is. If you do reuse, like let's say you have rear main seal went out and you want to just disassemble it, put a new rear main seal and then put everything back on, which quite often does happen with this type of a clutch, because clutch is alone $1,700. You have to have a bolt, and before you take the clutch off, you bolt it in. That means the proper term for it, you cage in a clutch. That way you can reuse it. It's the way it is now. Since you took it out, you cannot reuse this clutch at all. It's junk. Well, it needs to go get remanufactured. But this is new and this is gone. So I never seen a clutch go this far, because on a fully auto shift, I don't know if I said that, I never replaced the clutch. This is the first one I'm doing it, but I did one of these clutches, a couple of them on manual transmission, because they use the same clutch with different throwout bearing on the manual. And this is the farthest I ever seen it, so it's pretty much wore out. And I will show you in a minute. Right here is the new clutch. So right here, see this one bolt, 2, 3, and 4. You remove these bolts after when you install the clutch. My plan is stack everything on a transmission, on the input, and then put the transmission, bolt the transmission, then bolt my clutch, bar the engine over, and then take this bolt out. That's where we'll snap in your preload plate. And this is a clutch brake. I kind of freaked out. I'm like, what the hell is this for? I was laying on top, but then I started looking. This is actually a clutch brake. It's a hell of a freaking clutch brake. And they give you a bunch of measurements for flywheel and how to install the clutch, and right here says which way it's got to be. So this is a Mid-America clutch. They actually have pretty good instructions, but this is very, very important. So if you do have a clutch slipping, most likely you have to replace a clutch and a flywheel. But see, that's a new indicator, and the other one was this far. So it's like you think 50%, but it's not really, it's gone. Because like I said, they get stuck. And this is new flywheel. Very important to brake clean the flywheel. I got a new pilot bearing, and a Packard actually they had a problem sticking them. They get stuck on a crank, and I think that's what they put these bolts in. So you put the bolts in there and then push the flywheel out. But this one is actually gets aligned. Like on a Detroit, you can put a flywheel at any way you want it. It doesn't have to be timed. This is actually timed, so there's a lining pin on it. I think that's all what I got right here. That's where I get my parts from. This is a pilot bearing, and I will show you what's going on underneath it. And by the way, this is a first clutch, and I think the truck has 700,000 miles on it. So they are actually pretty good system. Right there's the clutch brake, the fork, looks pretty good. I don't think I will replace that. Yeah, it's nice and tight. Like Volvo had problems on this fork. The wheels would fall out and they get a flat spots on them, then it cause a big problem. So I gotta go to work now, but I will clean this out. This is the lining pin I was talking about. So make sure your flywheel lines up with that lining pin. And I don't know why this thing was stupid tight, which is use this type of bolt, but it's only threading this much. I don't know why That car did it that way. I'm not gonna do rear main seal because it don't leak. That's my rule of thumb. If it don't leak, don't touch it. And I got the barring tool over here. That's what it goes in. After when you get flywheel, there's actually teeth sticking out, and you put a barring tool. I'll show you in a minute. You bar the engine over. And I gotta get a piece of this line because I snipped it out. What did I do with the barring tool? Anyways, until I'm gonna look for it. It looks like this, but has a like a needle in the middle of it. Which I can pause my phone. Let me find it. I'm not sure what I did with the barring tool, but you guys get my point. So you stick it on there and you bar the engine over, and then when you can line up your bolts to tight the clutch. Oh, right here. So this is a PACCAR bar over tool, and I ordered one. This one I borrowed it from a shop. So it's this part number PRO 1398. I don't know what brand it is, but it's a lot smaller than a Cat one, but works off a same principle. Huge difference. Thanks for watching.